Four famous warriors named Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon Bonaparte each wanted to win and rule over lands. They were known as great conquerors in Astral Sagas. Think about a man, Alexander the Great, who cried because he wasn't satisfied with taking over a huge area of 2 million square miles. All he cared about was winning more and more. He sent his soldiers into fights as if he could never lose, probably because he had been winning for 10 straight years. His soldiers were tired and wanted to enjoy what they had won, but Alexander didn't care about wealth or even leading. He just wanted to keep winning battles. But in India, he finally faced a tough situation. His army had a really hard battle against a king named Porus. Alexander got hurt and his horse died. Even though his soldiers were exhausted, they faced another huge ready army across a river. They asked Alexander to give up and go home. He finally listened because he had no choice. However, things went downhill for him after that. He loved to drink a lot, and one night he drank too much and got very sick. His army leaders quickly came to see what would happen to his empire after he died. Alexander said, "Give it to the strongest," causing his leaders to fight each other for nearly 50 years. The empire he built broke apart, but Alexander was only concerned with his own goals anyway. He got so sick he couldn't move and people thought he was dead. Stories say that his body didn't decay for 6 days, which made people think he was a god. But in reality, experts believe he was in a coma, maybe even hearing plots against him, and he might have been buried while still alive. Next, let's talk about Julius Caesar, who admired Alexander. Caesar cried when he read about Alexander because, at the same age, Alexander had defeated another ruler named Darius. But Caesar hadn't achieved much himself. Like his hero, Caesar became very self-centered and took control in Rome, making himself the ruler for life. But Rome's senators were scared he was becoming too powerful and ended up killing him. Move forward to medieval times, and there's Genghis Khan, who took over even more land than Alexander. But unlike Alexander or Caesar, Genghis Khan didn't pretend to be a god or a hero. He knew he was harsh and didn't hide it. He died under mysterious circumstances, with some saying disease, others an injury from battle, and a story about being hurt by a captive princess. Keeping his death a secret, Genghis Khan's funeral procession was hidden by killing anyone in its path. Last is Napoleon Bonaparte, a master at war using cannons instead of swords. He declared himself emperor, but really, he saw war as an art form. He could remember amazing details about his army and planned their moves perfectly. But his luck ran out after many intense battles. Napoleon was beaten at Waterloo in 1815 and caught by the British. They jailed him on an island rather than killing him. Lonely and isolated, he died in 1821, longing for his country, his career, and his wife, Josephine. These four conquerors each left the world in different ways. One from a sudden sickness, one murdered by his own people, one possibly killed by an arrow, and one dying while under watch. But they all had the same problem. They always wanted more than they had.